Hi guys, this is Richard Cockhill for Forest Schools Level 3 for Unit 2, 2.3, extinguishing and removal of a temporary campfire. Key word there is that we're having a campfire, not a bonfire. Forest Schools, we keep our fires small, do a bit of cooking, I'll get my teeth in, tell stories around, and be a nice wee focus for the group. But we're not having big bonfires to illuminate the forest, which also kind of creates much more danger. I've had a small fire here today, and the idea of it being a temporary fire is all we've done is we've come to a safe area, we've clear from canopy above, and we've got brown soil below, which is different. There's a lot in my area. We have a lot of the stuff called peat, which can burn. However, I've picked an area that we don't have any of that, and we've just scraped back the kind of the forest floor that we can get straight onto bare earth, and we know that fire is not going to catch on anything we don't want, including underground. I've managed my fire that I've not had anything massive on it. I know I wanted a small fire today, just a little burn for the demonstration, and I've managed the fire to keep it quite tight so that now I'm just left with a few white coals. The fire looks probably almost out other than a little bit of smoke, but if I give it a bit of oxygen, you can see there's a little bit of life still left in there. I've been keeping that quite tight and burning away any large pieces. But for the purposes of the demonstration, we're going to pretend that it's the end of the day, end of the Forest Schools day, and we're wanting to put out our fire. Now, time management is a big must, and we want to make sure that we've not been hoofing on loads of big flammable logs or foliage or anything like that, so that we've got a big fire to put out. We want it kind of at least at this stage, if not even more further down to small ashes. And the first thing that we're going to do when we want to extinguish this, and we want to kind of make it a group activity, it's not just one person's job, it's a group activity that we know, and we're instilling those good habits of making the forest safe before we leave, so that we're not burning down the things that we love. So we make it part of the ritual that we spread out the fire nice and wide, using a nice long stick to do so. I just so happen I've picked a green stick. That's a stick that was sort of living. This is willow, so it's pretty okay to kind of cut this stuff down. I'm just going to spread out my embers around there. Now, if I feel that there's quite a lot of heat coming off that, so we're going to use water to put these embers out. So obviously we have our bowl full of water, that we want to keep that. We don't want to use that water to put out the fire in case we burn ourselves during the putting out the fire, and then we can use that as well. We've also got our burns kit handy. I've got gloves handy as well, just in case we need to move anything that we know is going to be hot. But the whole idea is that we're going to make sure that it's not hot by using the water. Now, what I like to do, rather than spreading the water straight on out the bottle, I find that quite wasteful. I like to get it on my hands and spread it almost like a watering can. And we don't want to hoof it straight on in the middle, and we'll get big clouds of steam. If you get steam in your face, that's really not good news. So we're just going to move around about the outside and move inwards, and that's going to do the same thing as cooling the earth as well around about. I quite enjoy that noise of the hiss of the fire. Previous incarnation I used to be a blacksmith. Between the ring of the anvil and the quenching of the metal, it's quite an experience. And that way we don't get big plumes of smoke, steam going around about us. And I can see just where that fire is just now. And once I've got the majority out, then I might switch over to using a bit more direct and a bit more just water straight on, so that I know that when I come to handling this with my hands, which I'm going to do in a moment, I'm not going to burn myself. Before I put my hands straight in there, I'm just going to mix that in. Make sure that all the embers get a little dose of the water. There we go. And then I would check that with my hands. I wouldn't expect a student to do this. I'm just going to check that that's not too bad. I'm going to get a wee bit more in there. There's a good deal more. A little bit of warmth left in there yet. And that's not too bad. And then using that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to collect up my ashes, and I can spread that far and wide through the forest. That'll go back to nature. We're not going to be leaving any sign of our passing. Good old leave no trace. Some folks say, well, they say, take only memories and leave only footprints. I don't even like to leave footprints if I can help it at all. Now, we'll get our stick, and just in case there's anything we've missed in the underground, we're going to make some holes right where our fire was, right in the hottest part. Anywhere where it's kind of gone black. I'm going to get a little bit more water straight in there. I'm going to use that to clean my hands a wee bit too. And there we go, and we know that that's all saturated. And I can see that there's no steam coming off there at all. I can feel that the earth is cool to the touch. And once we move our gear out of the way, what we can do is just replace what we took out from the fire in the first place. Just the pine needles and the mulch. Make sure we've got all our man-made gear out the road. So we're going to make that look nice and natural. And that's us. Back to the way it was when I found it. Cheers now.